Oh, sorry, Kirk. Welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx Brothers. Episode 20. We'll be talking about Alien Romulus. This is a debate show. It's not a review show. We have a special guest with us. We'll have him introduce himself before the rest of you regulars introduce yourself. Take that. Yeah, I like that. That's your reaction. How's it going, Tapan?
Oh, I'm the special guest? I thought Kirk was...
No, Kirk is now one of the Farx Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
We adopted him. There was lots of paperwork, but in the current way America works, it's much easier to adopt a brother.
I like that. That.
So
thanks for having me. Tapan is my name, like Japan with a T.
Yes.
Yeah.
You saw Alien Romulus?
I did. I saw 3 o'clock IMAX. It was the first showing I could go to. Got the patch. Got the face hugger bucket.
You bought the bucket?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is it $20?
I'll have you know it was over $30.
It was over $30?
Yeah. It did come with popcorn, so that was at least half the cost.
Did you get a refill?
No, I got it after the movie, actually.
You got the popcorn? Wait, so you bought the bucket and got the popcorn after you sat for 2 hours of the movie?
Yeah, I was like, oh, let's see what this bucket all about. It looked cool. I think it was a little bit actually out of FOMO from like Regal had these incredible collectibles. Have you seen them?
Not
like,
from Regal.
Like Regal has like a canister that lights up or something, and then there's
shit.
Like an alien head bucket. Yeah. Like
so it's the shape of a xenomorph?
In the shape of a xenomorph, yeah. Like really, they went all out. They've got a bunch, and so I think out of FOMO, I was like, or out of jealousy or whatever.
Older brother, what'd you say?
I said we've been slumming at AMC, as it turns out.
I feel that way all the time. It was recently the bartender's birthday, though.
Right, they had a tiki thing. I forgot to get.
There's a tiki at AMC for it?
Yeah, a tiki mug.
My gosh.
Taylor got one. He told me about it.
Oh, Taylor, good friend of the pod.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's listening and loves the shout out. I didn't see any of those.
Yeah, I missed the...
My question is, I wonder, does this one sell less than, say, the Dune and the upcoming Beetlejuice Sandworm one? Because Facehugger goes into you, there's no hole in the Dune like there is in the Dune worm or the Beetlejuice worm.
You mean for fucking?
I'm sure
it really is not that. It's like a bucket.
It's a different audience.
It's a regular bucket with like a face hugger on top.
Oh, and nothing comes out of it? Oh, so it can't even be switched for a different audience who would enjoy that.
It's just attached to the side.
Okay.
It's not.
It's got some appendages that can move and stuff.
Imagine someone who does buy it and it's like, what? There's no fucking hole.
Yeah.
There's no, like, imagine them asking, like, the 18-year-old, there's 16-year-old working at the desk, at the counter, like, how far does the recession in the mouth of the Beetlejuice worm go? Is at least 4
Oh, if they had a face hugger that could directly go down your throat and feed you popcorn.
Oh, they would.
That's a little much.
I would have paid $30. Well, I did pay $30 for the regular one.
You would have paid $30
more. I would have paid
$300
$300 for that. Yeah.
Ugh. You made me think though. We're an all male podcast today, and this is going to have strong female themes that we need to discuss. But what if the moving appendages are for a different audience? Is that what you were saying?
I was saying, what if someone wants it to go in them?
Yeah. So
you'll sell it to them, but like it's some dude who's like trained on like the Dune worm. And
I don't want to think about
fun with that, and like is looking for a hole.
Well,
the face hugger, and they're gonna be disappointed.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Tapan said that there are movable appendages on the face hugger.
Kind of. Yeah. They articulate a little bit. They're not.
Okay.
Would it be enough for like I don't know, like?
No, it's the body of it's firmly stuck on the side of the thing, but yeah, they
get complicated.
Yeah.
Welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx Brothers. I'm Kyle.
I'm Nick. I thought Kirk's closer to Kyle, so I'm like maybe Kirk wants.
Yeah,
to
the
go
audience at home knows that. They know where everyone's sitting in the man cave.
Well, I'm always last, so that's how it usually goes.
Aww.
Last spelling? No, not like starring, and then I say and Kirk at the end.
Yeah, okay. You're an and
yeah.
Kirk, yes.
Holy fuck! Never mind. I just noticed how swollen my ankle. I got stung by a bee 2 days ago. My ankle is swollen as fuck.
Dang.
I just noticed how swollen it is. I'm like, holy fuck.
Are your ankles gonna be okay? Are they cankles?
This one is a borderline cankle. I'm looking down at it now. I'm not.
Ankle sore. Is that something? There.
It's
I got
very
it.
puffy.
It's my signature wordplay. That's my.
Cankles, yeah. Fucking beef. I'm glad it's dead now, so whatever.
So you got it? Oh, what? Oh, just logically, right?
It was just AB. Like,
yeah.
if it was a wasp, I would have hunted it down and fucking killed it.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Are we gonna say best alien since Aliens? Kirk's gonna say best alien since Aliens since he doesn't like aliens, but we can table that for later on when Kirk argues against aliens. Like, really, he feels that way. I know.
No, I'm not. Go ahead. Yeah.
I
What's
mean,
your?
I like this movie more than Aliens. Yeah.
Yeah. I
think I
Aliens
did
is
too.
a
I
little
think I did
ridiculous.
too.
I think.
What?
So this is weird because I just saw Aliens in 4K, and I know it has like some issues with yeah.
Did it have
Oh,
grain or
that's
did they
right.
take out the grain?
They took out a lot of the grain, but but as a movie, I remember thinking, oh, I like it, but I love Alien, and I like Aliens, but I was like, I don't know, there was something, I don't know, and then this one really captured Alien more than.
That's true. Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time. I was not. Yeah, I mean, I was at the same time thinking, oh, this is very much in the mold of Alien. I almost felt like should I be thinking it's better than Aliens? Is that sacrilegious to think it's better than Aliens? So I don't know if I wasn't like rating it while I was sitting. I was just like, oh, this is very similar to the long buildup. Like they're on, I forget what they're looking for in Alien, but we know in this one they're looking for the pods so that they can make a 9-year journey, right? Very similar.
In Alien, they're on their way. They're like truckers. They're space truckers, and they're on their way home.
They're looking for something though.
But
That's
then
why
they run into something, and then they choose
find
to.
the space jockey, and that's why they're.
Yes.
And they're poor. They're
Yeah.
like, I mean, they're
They're arguing about
class.
wages from the
They're
very
working class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the lowest rung. Yeah.
And they're on a mission, whether it's like we want to get off this planet, we need pods, or whatever they're doing in the first one. It's their job. Or
The
whatever.
first one, they're transporting something.
Okay.
And then they come in contact with the Prometheus ship, like
Yeah.
having been where it is, as we find out in a later movie.
So I was noticing that parallel right off the start, and like, oh, I like the build. I like a build up, like when it's when it's not just boring, So I definitely saw the parallels to Alien, and I mean I like Aliens. It's been a while since I've watched it.
Yeah.
And like Aliens is kind of the one you hear everyone say, oh, that's like the best one. So I'm like, should I be? I feels like I almost have to rate this at least number 3 behind Alien and Aliens, but maybe not. Like I'll have to go back and watch Aliens now to know.
I've got 2 counters. One is the aliens in Aliens. There is like this movie is competing for best movies with multiple aliens. Because now that we've seen there can be multiple aliens, it pisses me off, like in Covenant, when there's only ever one alien attacking. So this movie had multiple aliens, xenomorphs attacking at once.
Yeah.
And that's indicative of Aliens, which was the first one to do that. So
Yeah.
I would say Aliens still does the action of multiple aliens attacking better than Romulus does, though both have great multiple alien attacking moments. The other thing I would argue is that the differences in the types of space bugs, for lack of a better term for them, is I would say you probably like the mother bug thing, the xenomorph mother
From Aliens.
from Aliens, more than you would like the Promethean hybrid thing from Romulus.
Well, yeah, because
So-
that's not to go too far ahead, but
Sure.
yeah,
It's a
that's-
bait show, so I was just kind of trying to come up with some debate points against the idea of Romulus being better than Aliens, because we're going in hot with you guys all say you think Romulus is better than Aliens.
I don't
Well,
know. I'm still thinking about it. It doesn't. To be fair, it's a combination of every Alien movie, right? So it starts with Alien 3, really. It complete with the intro scene, right? Bringing the thing in.
Hmm?
Then the planet itself is very reminiscent of
The
Alien
prison
3. Just
planet
even the
of
look
3.
of it, the feel of
Yeah.
it. It was pure like Alien 3. It references every single one. I guess the question, Resurrections, of course. Then like Prometheus, Covenant. I mean, Covenant itself also did kind of a greatest hits thing.
Yes.
But this one did that. But also, I don't know. Yeah, it seemed to. I guess the question is like, how much is it? Yeah, which one does it
Covenant
reference
has the
to
best
most?
the best sex scene, just so we get that
Which
out
one
of
has
the way.
the?
Covenant has the best sex scene.
Sex scene.
Oh yeah, they
Covenant.
get killed right after fucking, right?
They get killed like through both of their heads while they are in the
Oh,
shower.
wow.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, of all 7 of them, not including Aliens versus Predator, because isn't there a sex killing scene in Aliens versus Predator?
I don't remember
Requiem?
those two as well, or at all really.
And they're not canonized necessarily, because then how would you explain that they were around in 2004 and 2007 when they haven't heard of them in Alien, right?
In like 2576.
It's
whatever fucking year.
2140 or 2120,
okay.
because this one takes place 20 years after Alien, which
Sure.
also takes place 20 years after Covenant, I think.
Okay.
Because Covenant is 2104. Because I remember thinking, oh, it's only 80 years from now.
Yeah.
And I think it must take place after Alien Isolation as well, because it references
The
that
game?
quite a bit. Yeah.
How does it
Oh, did
reference?
it?
Oh.
Could you
I'm
explain
not
that? I've heard
familiar
about
at all
this.
with the game, so yeah,
Yeah.
I'm curious.
So from save stations that are identical from the game
Mm.
to
What are
just-
save stations?
It's like where you save any save points in the game are like sort of telephone booth type of things.
Okay.
mini telephone stations.
Got it.
Lifted directly. I mean, in a good way. Yeah. A lot of the hallways, the stun batons, the flares, the idea that like there's an android that you upgrade your clearance to get into
Oh.
a certain room,
Huh.
Nice. Yeah.
which is a cool. All just great. From an android that grabs the leg when you're about to leave. I mean, all of that was really referential and reverential to the game. I love that because it's such an incredible game.
That's what's great about this franchise, is that it has great video games, great comics, great movies. It hasn't had a great TV show. Noah Hawley will probably kill it, because that guy's awesome.
Noah Hawley, yeah.
He's
Oh,
making
kill it in
a-
a good way, you're saying.
Yeah, he'll do a great
Noah Hawley,
job next
yeah.
year when his show comes out. That's going to take place even before Prometheus.
Well, Fargo has been one of my favorite shows of all time. Yeah, and so he knows what he's doing, I think.
This is a bait show, though, so we got to think of something that we disagree on with this movie. Kills, we could jump to kills, even though that was at the end of the agenda we put together.
Kills was like
everyone's
one of the
favorite
weak
kill?
points for me for this one.
What? When the
Yeah.
guy gets the acid through his body, they used acid the right way in this movie, whereas
used
they
it, but,
don't
like-
in Aliens.
But in the end, but the last few shots of that sequence, I couldn't tell what was happening. He was like laying on his back, right? Like when it went through his fingers, like, oh, that's cool, that's awesome. But then after that, he's just on his back, and then he did something weird. All of a sudden, he's like, ah.
Yeah,
And it's
like
like, what happened?
chest
Did it just?
burst
Oh,
or
it's like,
something?
you're right. I couldn't quite tell
Something
exactly.
imploded?
Like
Yeah.
a final
Yeah.
spat.
yeah,
or-
it's like I saw like
a
a
lot.
hole develop in his right here or something. Like maybe it just went through his chest and like got his heart, and that's what the spasm was. But like I couldn't tell in the moment, so it threw me off. And I'm like, yeah, you could have shot that or cut it a little bit better. I don't know.
I honestly think this, and you can argue with me on this. I think him not rolling out of the way was a reference to Prometheus. I think him not rolling out of the way.
Oh.
No, I mean, not even as a joke. I think people are like, "Oh, why did Charlize Theron roll out of the way?" I was like, I think that's on purpose. It's about the short-sightedness of a villainous type of character. He wasn't a villain. He wasn't a villain, but he was sort of like a heel.
He was the unlikable one.
He was unlikable
He was a
one.
heel.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a heel. Yeah, and so I was like, why is he not rolling out of the like? He could easily roll out of the way, right?
Yeah, you
He
would
doesn't,
think.
and I think that was on
Yeah.
purpose. Because every other detail was so perfectly.
Is that similar? So Charlize Theron dies in a similar way in Prometheus.
She just doesn't roll out of the way. There's something clearly that she could just roll out of the way of.
That
Yeah,
scene's
like
playing
this
out next
scene,
to you in
yeah.
the man cave right
Is that-
now.
I'm
We
like, I'm
have-
wondering,
we
is
have
it about to
Prometheus
happen?
on.
Yeah,
Oh yeah! Oh my God! It's literally about to happen right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, this was not timed. This was not planned. I'm turning around. I'm not even facing the TV.
Oh, she's gonna.
And she's about to-
She could roll out of the way of that.
Yeah,
big
you'll
rolling
see.
thing.
Run left, run right.
That's so wild. Yeah.
But
You
instead
have all
she
that
trips.
space.
That's
Oh my God!
how
Really?
she gets her the work done.
So she does, right?
She does.
Our main character, yeah, because she's smart and the hero.
Charlize Theron is dumb.
And at no point she
doesn't-
has plenty of time. She had plenty of time.
That's almost like the guy in Austin Powers who's like 50
Yeah,
feet
yeah.
in front of the steamroller yelling.
But so in my defense of this movie, Prometheus, is that like the dumb characters are either dumb on purpose because the crew who's assembled, they're not assembled to be the best of the best. It's crew expendable. Like like she brought them as a ruse. The whole thing was a ruse.
Yeah.
So like the geologist who like sucks at geology, the biologist who sucks at biology. It's like that all kind of fits. Like they don't really want experts. They just that's my
because it's a cover for
the whole thing's a cover.
old Wayland who's in the ship with
Exactly.
them.
Exactly.
Yes.
The whole thing's a cover. The whole thing's so. Again, not a great defense of having like idiot characters, in your movie, but they don't really explain it, but they kind of explain it.
Well, that was a point of debate. Is how do you feel about like having the lower ranks of like is this a show that has people or a series that has specifically people from the lower ranks always being represented, like what Star Wars tries to do but doesn't really do because it's about the royalty of the fucking Skywalkers, but like in this it was hey it's a bunch of thieves from the crappy corporate planet who and in 3 it's prisoners, in 1 it's blue collar people transporting stuff. In 2, it's military people who would generally code as blue collar. There's a debate point somewhere in here, but
well, the difference is I think this is I'll have to rewatch it. I'm sure I will, but I don't think any of the characters acted stupidly. I don't think.
In any of the other ones, or specifically in Prometheus?
No, I'm saying in Romulus.
No,
and again, like in Covenant, there's some panic-induced bad decision making, which I can also defend because it's like panic states, you mess up. People kind of rag on that a little bit, but I'm like, I think that's fine. But in this case, to their credit, like I think they all tried to do their best.
Yeah, nothing jumped out at me, and that stuff usually jumps out at me right away when it happens. I'm like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, why'd you do that?
I never thought that.
But even in Panic, they did the right things.
Yeah, even in Panic. Yeah, because floating through the, I did like the different thing. Granted, it's been a long time since I've seen Alien 3 or Resurrection. Never saw the verses. Never really saw Prometheus all the way through. Saw bits of Covenant, but never saw the gravity stuff with the.
That was brand new. Yeah,
that was new. That was new,
that's
and
cool.
the running from when the trying to hide their heat signature from the facehuggers. Thought that was new.
Seeing them just hanging out, like in their like chill state.
Oh yeah, they're just hanging out. Yeah.
Like the facehuggers.
And so many of them. Many of them.
Oh, the cocoons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The vaginal cocoons.
That's
perfect addition.
I'll argue against the. Let's get back to vaginal cocoons in a second, but I will argue against them like walking through the room of like all of them. That's kind of a riff on a Walking Dead idea where they like cover their bodies with dead bodies.
Yeah.
So basically, it's them like cool idea and good on Fede Alvarez.
But they've never done aliens in any of the Alien franchise.
Yes, I'm trying to debate you on
just like how gravity's been done in every sci-fi movie, but like never an alien. It's like why not? Why did they never do that?
Isn't there some gravity stuff in Resurrection? Like not.
I don't. I can't say there wasn't because I have.
Because there's that basketball scene or something like. I'm trying to remember if there's some gravity stuff. I just remember her being really good at basketball.
Well, underwater, which is similar. Honestly, kind of similar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's similar aesthetic of like
sure
floating around. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like she's about to hit a glob of acid blood, and she like, obviously you're gonna panic, but she shoots
the gun to get motion because she's in space.
Yeah. Yes. So like,
those smart decisions.
You're
like
panicking, but you're also you're making a smart decision while you're panicking.
Yeah.
So.
Like that. Yeah. I mean, that whole set piece with like the 1 foot of water trapped in the room. I mean, just a perfect shitstorm brewing, right? Like, and then they're in the water. They're swimming faster than they can run, maybe even. And we can't see them. And then they all, once they figured out, like, okay, they're going for our faces, they did a good job of, defending themselves.
Yeah.
And then...
There was criticism there is that we've seen some of the brightest minds theoretically be around these things, and we've seen people who, like, studied them. And how did these, like, guys just figure out so quickly, like, oh, let's just freeze it? I guess you could argue the alien, the robot tells them.
He was so strong. That actor, that character, it was really impressive.
Oh, Andy, was he always Andy, or was he only Andy after he changed his?
He was Andy before he put the upgrade chip in.
Okay. I
yes.
didn't catch his. Yeah, no.
Because I had an Android Roomba character named Andy, and now I'm like, oh, I can't.
Oh, change him to Randy.
I know, I get to, because clearly it's just like, oh, Android, Andy the Android, obviously.
I watched it twice, and the first time I could not take when they were mean to Andy. Like, it was giving me so much anxiety.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Like if it's a robot.
At the beginning, or
when the kids beat him up, and then when he gets the news that he's going to be left behind. It was devastating. But then I was thinking throughout, like, this is dumb. Why is she going back for the robot? The robot's fine without her. Like, she needs to save herself because she's a human. Yeah. But it's like, what is it saying about this person whose sibling is a robot?
Oh, yeah. The amount of empathy we get so quickly with those two characters was really... pretty special, honestly. Yeah, that was really well done. Because then you see him evolved, and you're just like, oh my god, like, and you don't want him to. Like, the subtext of like getting better and worse at the same time, AI getting better and worse, was really interesting. I mean, you know, because it's like beholden to some company in this case, but that was you're like it was heartbreaking to see him like not act when he you wanted him to, but
Oh, like when he
or
like
just
let
acting
people
colder.
die.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's like a warmer character.
Well, I thought that was a smart like way to make
Oh, yeah.
of like a plot thing to make us go, hey, here's the character who's gonna do, because it's like a check on the movie, like don't go up the stairs, go out the door. So it's like no, cut them off because two is better than all three of you dying. So if one of you has to die for two of you to, and he did that.
It was the smart move. Yeah, that's the thing. That's what makes those little dilemmas were really. I was like, damn, it's well done.
I have a dumb thing where he looks like an older version of my nephew, and he's from industry, so I have like a lot of like empathy
I've heard
built
it.
up to this actor. So it's really screwed with my head. Although, okay, a point against it is that why is the black character in what's a mostly whitish movie, why is he a robot?
I wouldn't call it a whitish movie.
Okay,
Isn't it just one of the characters white? Isn't it just
The
the
girl?
main character? Yeah.
Kaylee Spinney,
I think. Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
because the other ones would code as Hispanic, and then you've got the East Asian woman, and well, yeah, it's I guess 3 Latin people since they're all
Well, then
siblings.
you get the British, a couple of British guys.
With British.
Oh, that's right. They're British and some right, or I don't know. I couldn't. It's hard to tell.
I only heard accents from the 2 dudes.
Yeah, and they're British. Yeah.
But I don't know about the background of the girl who has the chest burster, who's like Asian, but like you can have Asian and British, like I didn't, but
Yeah,
I didn't
British
hear an
and something
accent.
else.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. Well, she could be Australian
I
too.
I
Yeah.
didn't hear an accent from her that I recall. I just remember hearing the 2 guys. I had a hard time keeping track of because everything's like
So the counterpoint to my, oh, hey, why did they make the black character a robot? Well, there was a lot of diversity throughout the movie, so why not and it was the best performance in the movie, so that's kind of weird too.
Well, that was a twist from the other AI too. We always expected it to be
Bad.
a white guy.
Oh
And
yeah,
they're
that too.
all incredible actors, and they all It's funny how each time the AI character always stands out. They always steal the show in some way.
Because Magneto plays the flute with himself in Covenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how you spit a little bit on when I said Magneto.
Yeah.
Fassbender.
Yeah, he
We're
does
talking
the
about
finger.
Fassbender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Oh yeah,
local.
Nick
He's
doesn't
local.
watch
Yeah.
X-Men.
And I'll do the finger.
Yeah.
Wait,
All I know about David Fassbender is I suppose he has a huge cock, and that's all I know, and that's all I need to know, and I appreciate knowing that.
There's a movie called
You
Shame.
can watch it in Shame. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so he does.
We both
so,
jumped at it. Right.
Oh, he's got a 10-inch
Put it
cock
on
in the movie
now.
Shame.
So this this is what we're talking about.
Well,
or-
that microphone is a shotgun microphone, so it's colored in a certain way. But
He's
he's
got these
otherwise, yeah,
ridges
probably.
here.
Well, he's just
Okay.
walking around. I think just one scene was walking around.
I haven't seen it.
Oh.
You seem to have seen it.
Oh yeah. Oh, you just knew about it? Oh, okay. No, it's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Barry Jenkins.
Yeah.
Okay. See who directed?
No.
No, is it the guy who did 12 Years a
Steve
Slave? Okay, Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's still alive
cut
after
that
all
out.
these years.
No, that I mixed up those. I mean, okay,
Both actors.
I'm sorry to both of them when they listen to this. And,
Oh, this is not like the cowboy from 1940.
no, I mixed up 2 black directors is what I did wrong.
Oh, Steve
Wow.
McQueen is the director.
Steve
Barry
McQueen,
Jenkins.
yes, but
Oh.
he's British, isn't he? Steve McQueen, and that's
Yeah.
why he did Shame.
Wow.
Mm.
And Barry Jenkins is American. Fuck, I should have known that.
But I do think that I think making him black also was adding to the subtext of like this character was being more marginalized. Like I mean even with like the idea that he was neurodivergent before we find out that, or there's something going on with, or had some disability before we find out that it's an android who's malfunctioning. I think that's all deliberately part of the subtext. But
Oh, you mean thinking it was like it's a special needs person, and then finding out it's a robot?
I think we're meant to think that
Yes.
for a second, and then but I think even him being black was just adding to that level of this marginalized character.
And they were brother and sister.
Yeah,
Like there was
yeah.
a lot of family. There's not usually there's found family, and like with Newt in Aliens, there's the mother-daughter thing, but this was a lot of sibling stuff.
And they don't really go into, or do they? Maybe, did they go into their kind of, how they met, all that kind of stuff? Because
I
they
don't
just
recall.
show their connection.
Yeah.
That's all
They
we
had
need to see.
worked together at some point on
Yeah.
that planet. They've been on
okay.
cruise
That
or
would probably
something.
make- that makes. Oh, but then what? How is his? Oh, something with her father, because she said her father gave him the directive to always do what's best for Rain. So something to do with it, but then that still doesn't fill in all the gaps. But it's a little bit to go on. But They end on that. They end on the fucking.
Oh, the
Frodo.
new. Oh, it always ends with a new thing. Yeah, it always ends
Frodo.
with or is it always? Not always. It's popular now to like end with a new xenomorph.
Oh
I see.
well,
Or
so
protomorph or whatever. You know.
what Nick's referring to is that Prometheus just ended on mute in the background,
With
and
the pointier, it's just got a
Yeah.
pointier head, pointier back of its head, but it's like, oh, that's the xenomorph.
Because like it's just playing with the idea that like different combinations will yield different looks, right? So
Okay.
that was a combination of the engineer.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I saw it come out of the engineer.
Yeah.
Is writhing around like, what the fuck?
Then
is
again,
this?
weirdly enough, what we saw at the end of Romulus was more like was actually more of an engineer.
yeah, because it was the pure goo. But is it the same goo as what we found in
Yeah.
Prometheus?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I thought the assumption was
Same
it
goo.
was
But
the same
I thought it
goo.
was Ian Holmes' android milked the face huggers to get the goo. So is that goo the same? Like
I have
it's
to.
equivalent. It's a non-Newtonian particle of some kind.
They might have fussed with it a little bit,
Okay.
but it's the goo is the same goo.
Yeah, it's ostensibly
Prometheus.
supposed to be the same thing, same function, making
Yeah.
new life, making pure the best type of life.
Yeah.
Which do the alien movies hate humanity?
Do the movies hate humanity?
Nick doesn't think so.
I don't see that, but
I
well,
don't think so. I don't know.
I mean I can see them criticizing. I mean they're
Corporation.
yeah, the Wayland Yutani
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like representative of like any sort of thing that tries to take over and run everything.
It's
right?
It's poorly managed capitalism because
Yeah.
in theory you'd have a strong government coming and saying, "Hey, you can't, merge these two very large companies and treat people like this on this off-world planet." But like, how is that information getting off that planet when there's 65? Was it 65 light years or 65 million light years?
I think it
It's
just said
65.
65. Yeah.
Okay, 65 light years.
Yeah.
So you have to go 60. How far would that? I mean, I'm not going to do the math.
A long fucking way.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's like when you think about how they're going to do the first Mars colonies. It's going to be like, hey, you're going to be on a contract, and you're going to be up there, and then like things are going to go wrong.
They're
Things
not.
are
They're not
go-
going to get Elon Musk is going to get people on Mars. Like he's not going to get people on Mars.
Well, one of these, rich people trying to get off-world,
They're
stuff.
not. It's not going to happen. They're outside of their.
Okay,
they're outside of
let's
their
debate
league.
if we're ever going to be a multi-planetary species. Do you really not think we're ever going
I
to
mean, is the debate like ever or in our lifetime?
how-
I think
not in
that's-
our lifetime,
in our
for
lifetime.
sure not
Yeah.
in our lifetime.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I think
obviously,
like
yeah.
it'll be 200 because like in Star Trek we don't even figure out warp speed till like 150
Yeah.
years from now, right?
If the planet was fit for human life, there'd be human life there already. Because unless you're going to say we were planted here by the version of Elon Musk from however many thousands of
Oh yeah, it
years
was
ago.
unclear how they like terraformed Mars or what did they do? They weren't in a dome, were they? Because they went straight up into the atmosphere, so they were just in the. I don't know. Anyway,
They weren't
It
on
doesn't really matter.
Saturn. They were on.
they're on
some...
Saturn.
No,
Wait,
they weren't
they're on
on
Mars.
Saturn. They had to be on something else.
I think they're on Mars, weren't they?
No, they weren't on Mars because they
No,
were
it wasn't
65
Mars.
light years.
Oh, what am I saying? Then?
Those
Okay.
places would be like those are 65 light
They
years.
were on
Okay.
something that had a fucking ring, though. It looked like.
Yeah, it's
They were-
similar to
I
Saturn.
thought they.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind. I don't know why in my head I thought
It's a
that
similar type because that's the only type of planet you're aware of in like.
Well, no, then I thought like the
those
ring
solar
was
system
formed
existed.
out of because that was a thick ring. That was like a really
Yeah.
like you hit. That's not. Those aren't really like you hit that. They established that you're gonna die. I mean,
I think that would be
fall.
the same thing if you were to, like run a spaceship into the outer ring of Saturn. Like that's
I don't
that's
know.
some
Just
sort
seeing
of
pitch
matter
black
that
where they're
would-
going through. They're less dense. Like you can kind of like you could fly through and hit the rocks and be fine. And
Are you,
again, I'm not
are you
citing
arguing
pitch
movie-
black as my scientific source. Neil deGrasse is fucking exploding.
Well,
right now.
it's in the world of sci-fi like space travel. No, I think it's much more likely that it would be hard
like
and
how,
fuck
yeah, it's
you
a good
up.
question. How dense are the rings? Like are
How-
Saturn's rings? I don't know.
Are you googling how dense are Saturn's rings? Because you should be googling
Yeah.
that for. So Nick, you don't think we'll ever be a multiplanetary species? Like
I'm just saying.
hundreds of years from now.
I'm just saying. What does a human do from this planet? If you're gonna try to take it into your own hands and make a planet inhabitable, what do you do to do that? Like, if it's not already fit for human life, which it isn't, because I think human life would be there already. Like, what do you do? I know tech bros love to think that they can do anything, and they talk like they can do anything, but I don't. I don't. You know.
Tapan just looked up how thick the rings
Yeah,
of Saturn
so
are.
they obviously they depend on the ring, but
Yeah.
they range from 32 to 43 kilograms per meter squared, square meters, to 244 to 344 kilograms per square meter. So that's pretty dense.
Big
Oh,
rocks.
so they're thick.
They're
what you're
thick,
saying.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if it's 344 kilograms per square meter, yeah. What the hell?
But it's
Like-
also like the logic of the movie Gravity applies here, because even like
Why
a
isn't it
small
per meter?
screw traveling through space, if it's going, in one direction, will fuck you up. So, like, it doesn't.
Like if it's fast enough.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
remember in Gravity, there's like one. Have you seen the movie Gravity?
I don't remember because I didn't see it.
Okay, so you haven't seen the movie Gravity.
Nope.
This is as like a point of debate. I'm just gonna say that as a wrong decision.
Point of debate, you have seen Gravity.
No.
Oh, wait. No, that's right.
I'm just gonna say you didn't do the right homework coming into this.
I
one.
didn't need to see
We
Sandra
didn't
Bullock
have to see
floating
Gravity. Go on. Yeah.
for 2 hours.
Wait, have you
or
seen
whatever.
it?
I have heard it's completely
Yeah, I saw
inaccurate
it.
scientifically, but it was effective. If you kind of just watch it, go along with it.
Yeah, I didn't
Dramatically.
Yeah.
think too much about the scientific aspects of it. I thought it was just a really intense movie. In
Yes.
Theaters.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's got a similar like female protagonist going through all these different things, and then she's like getting over the loss of like a child or something throughout.
I don't remember.
She has she's got a dead kid somewhere in it,
Okay.
and then she musters the will to live by the end, because it's like she should have died when she's getting.
Oh
to the
yeah, she
Russian
gives up at a certain point, and then she has to.
Yes, like somewhere on like the Russian space station after like hurtling through space on her own. Gravity is a way better movie than, I guess, maybe not Alien, but every other movie in the Aliens series. And also as science fictional as them, I guess we're saying.
I do think it's coming to 4K soon, which I am excited to watch that again because it's a good excuse to.
Oh,
If I feel it's on the horizon, I'm like I would put off a rewatch of.
Tell Nick your strategy for buying discs, because I think he'll at least disagree with that.
Oh, I mean, I know. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes, look, if they're on Vudu and they're on sale, 4K, I'm like, cool. But if it's, I don't know. I think there's a value to having discs too because, I don't know. It's just they're reliable.
He buys
never know.
steelbooks.
Well, yeah, no. Well, that's
Steelbooks,
fine.
they were a vice for a long time. I'm very selective with the steelbooks now, but.
You never know what streaming you can.
Yeah.
If you buy something on Amazon, you don't really own it. Like if if their licensing deal goes away,
Yeah.
your library goes away too, or it exits your library and it's gone. So
Hey.
I'm a physical media supporter.
Fandango at Home has upgraded some of my HD movies
Oh, there you
to
go.
4K movies without me purchasing anything.
Oh,
They
that's
just
nice.
do it
Yeah, I think Apple
automatically.
did that too. They just upgraded your library.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't. Yeah, that's great.
But still, it could go away. Yeah.
and streaming is caught up where he's from American Werewolf in London.
It's we have Alien 3 playing on mute
Yeah,
in the
it's
background.
a lot of British accents. A lot of.
Kirk has
Wait,
never
Charles
seen this movie.
Dance, Charles Dance is in this. Game of
Yes.
Thrones. Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of stuff.
I'm sure you're streaming. You've got USI here, so your streaming can handle the 4K. But like, it's even if you can handle the 4K streaming, it's like they still can take it away anytime.
And sometimes it just dips
So
in quality and comes back.
That's
It's
true,
annoying.
yeah.
It's annoying. Yeah.
We also live in an urban environment, and in rural areas where like the last mile or the last 2 miles aren't, broadband enabled. They unless they're using Starlink, which I have been out in the rural upper Midwest where someone was using Starlink and worked pretty well.
yeah,
What-
I was just saying, I dabbled. I'm like, when is it going to become available to my area?
Starlink?
Starlink. Yeah.
All right.
A year or so ago, I looked, but that's all.
So Elon Musk can get some things right. Satellites.
Well,
Satellite internet.
I mean, he didn't invent any of the things he sells.
I'm not-
I credit the people who actually
Well, yeah.
came up with the idea
Yeah.
for Starlink and not him. But like, yeah, sure.
But debating, you have to simulate debate. Okay, so Ian Holm, what do we think?
It's necrophilia.
What should they have done? Should they have done that?
No, it was necrophilia. That was fucked up.
Yeah.
But I liked it.
They should have just used a prosthetic. I don't understand. They could have used a melted prosthetic
Yeah.
or a mask or something like why I don't know why it's baffling to me that they went with the uncanny. I mean,
Oh, the CGI was bad. You're
CGI
saying?
Ian Holm, yeah, he looked fine on screen. Like when he was on a screen on screen,
Yes.
that was fine, and his voice was fine, I guess. But then it just I was like, why do they keep cutting back to him looking not good? Like
The first few shots of it were atrocious.
Yep.
Yes.
It looked like it's like the voice didn't even match up with the lips, which is like
I know
there's no excuse.
they
for
could have
that.
had that's what I'm saying, a melted face malfunctioning. They could have fucked with that, and they didn't do that.
Like after it was really horrible at first. I'm like, oh my god, they really did this.
And you don't get used to it really.
Some of the after he
pretty
was
bad.
around for a while though, like some of the shots, I'm like, okay, well that one looks okay. They made a point to keep him kind of like in that half
Profile kind of shot.
not profile, but like half lit, like half not lit. Like
yeah.
he's not in the key light, he's not in shadow. He's just kind of in that mid.
They kept using close-ups because his lips weren't matching even.
Well,
like,
yeah, the lips. That's the thing. Like
so
the lips
weird.
didn't seem to match with the sound. But sometimes some of the shots eventually, like, oh, well, here's a shot that looks. I almost buy this.
Yeah,
as like
sometimes.
as if it's not CGI. Poorly
Everything
done
else was so
CGI.
practical looking.
That's the truth.
That's
Yeah,
the problem.
It's contrasting because of how much practical they use
Yeah,
elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the face huggers were practical a lot of the times.
A lot of the time, because I remember seeing behind the scenes where they had a remote control facehugger running around. So a lot, when there's a ton of them and they're jumping through the doors that shut, like, you know, horizontally or whatever, vertically, whatever. I feel like, yeah, they had to augment that with CGI, but I feel like in all those shots there were probably multiple practical facehuggers too. And you know, the only time I didn't call out CGI until when they had multiple, when she's blasting them all the full grown xenomorphs. Like that's okay, that's obviously like even when they first introduced multiple full grown xenomorphs crawling, which
They
I
look
thought
like
was
people?
kind of shot of reminiscent
Yeah,
of aliens.
for sure,
Yeah.
for
when they're
sure.
Oh
crawling.
yeah, yeah. Hell yeah.
Like I'm like that still looks like it could be. Oh,
It could be practical. Yeah, it looked like it could have been practical, but
Yeah.
but probably like, it might not have been. But it looked like their movements were a little bit not perfect in a good way. Like it was reminiscent of it.
yeah. So I couldn't. That was up in the air on that one. But like the first thing I knew was CGI was not until you got to that part where she's blasting them all in the zero gravity. So that's pretty good.
Okay, I'm gonna get to something we can disagree on.
Huh.
The thing at the end that she births. What would you even call that? It would be like an engineer.
Yeah.
People
Well,
are
A
calling
proto
it-
engineer. Wait, there's what?
People are no,
people
they're
are
calling it,
saying
like homomorph or like
homomorph.
was one, that's one I
Homomorph.
saw, but
Right.
or like I don't know.
Promethean.
Homomorph. I made that one. I just
Promomorph.
that one I made up.
That's
No.
that's a great one.
That one might work, but I
That's
mean,
gonna-
yeah,
that's-
I don't. Yeah, what
Hashtag
do you think?
Promomorph.
What are some good names for that?
what
The
is the
Thing?
logic? Well, yeah.
Slender
name-
Man. It was sweet.
Well, the thing is, I'm not. That's what's wild to me, and I can't figure this out. Like I don't like Slenderman doesn't freak me out in the least. Like I don't, not even the. I'm just like that.
But this did
The guy
this
in the
thing
suit,
was
yeah.
so effectively creepy.
nightmare fuel for you.
But because I'm not easily.
So bad.
Yeah, I just thought it was really effective. I was like, wow, it was a wild swing, and I think it worked. Like, I don't know, maybe
I guess on
people-
on further viewings when I'm like past the point, you know, on my second viewing I won't be like I know it's coming and I'm not gonna be like what the fuck. Yeah, it's a good.
I wish
design.
I could have been
It is
next
a
to
good
you.
design.
No, I mean I get that it'll be polarizing. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like you're not wrong if you didn't like it. If you
I
didn't
mean,
like
like
it, it's
on
like,
its
that's
face,
not.
face value, this is 7 foot tall, gangly, fucking fucked up looking thing.
Huge.
Like, yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
the
It's like,
human face.
Yeah.
Like
Why did it have to suck on the? Why did it have to go? That
it
was.
did do that. Yeah.
But
I-
that was
that was
because they
weird.
showed the paintings earlier on because of. So Romulus is the Greek god of war. Is that what it is? Or is
I don't
the Roman, Greek or Roman?
I should have looked. Yeah. These.
well, if I had to guess,
Anyone
I'd
could
say
Google
Roman.
this. Okay, sure. But like when you know they
First-
show those painting, he's gonna look it up.
First
It's
three
the-
letters of the word.
They, you know how they show the dead woman being like
That's
fed on
true.
by the.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
I remember
earlier
that,
on in
yeah.
the thing. That's why I'm glad I watched it twice
Oh,
because like
symbolism.
now I see how they're seeding this in, and I mean seeding
Yeah.
like semen seeding.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it?
Well, yeah, no. First of all, yeah, you're right. The image of a she-wolf suckling the twins in their infancy has been a symbol of the city of Rome and the ancient Romans since at least the 3rd century BC. So that even that imagery is quite
Well,
old. But
that-
what am I looking at?
Oh, you were looking up if Romulus, the god of war, is that Greek or is it Roman?
Oh, Roman. Okay, yeah. So
It
this
is
all
Roman.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know which is which. So
So you know Ridley Scott is like a big Catholic, right? So like he believes in Jesus and God and stuff, but I think he also believes that like Jesus and God maybe created like some
7-foot tall engineers.
I think he does possibly believe it, and I'm not saying I don't or that I have a problem with it. I'm just saying like I think that he does, and I think he like told Fede Alvarez, "Hey man, I need you to know. Here's what I think this universe also entails."
Yeah.
Since he did produce this movie.
Well, I knew he had to do like one of these to get the
a hey listen. Are you doing a hey listen?
He had to do a hey listen to get Fede Alvarez to include an engineer or a variation of an engineer in the last quarter of the movie. I felt that, but you know, like I think I'll be more receptive on a repeat watch because like on its own, it is fucking freaky.
What was coming out of her when she like put her hand in and then came back from her chest area with goo?
I think it was just to imply that the suckling, because I didn't actually put it together till somebody had explained it online. But that was meant to be our tip off that like she had been suckled by him.
Oh, when he came out?
Yeah, so he was like suckling her corpse, which I didn't quite put together.
Oh yeah, but before she dies, she also puts her hand over herself and then pulls it out and it's like goo, and it's almost like this is the milk that's coming out, but instead it looks like, you know,
that could be, that is ambiguous. That maybe she's producing that.
Actually I would
producing that,
kind of bet on that, because eventually, like a few minutes later, it kills her.
Yeah,
it's like
because it's sucking out all the goo it needs to, the third BC, thing you were describing.
That makes more sense because then it's like a setup payout. Yeah, that makes
Okay. I wish. Okay, yeah. So I mean, it would have been clearer if they had. I mean, they can't.
Well, you could have looked up Romulus on Wikipedia before you went in. And you'd be like, "Hey, wait a second. I see what you're doing here."
Well, also no. If it was milky, we would have thought that they already used that aesthetic for android blood. So
that's
that would have been confusing, I guess. So.
Yes. That is a strong point. Is the semen-looking thing that comes out of the androids is their blood?
I think it would have been clearer if they showed it more clearly coming from her breast.
You want to see more boob, is what you're saying.
I would love to see Dora the Explorer's breast, but
have you watched the Dora the Explorer live action movie that she's in?
But like if
I've seen it twice and it's fantastic.
To see where I know it's gotten good marks. It's like kind of.
My wife and sister-in-law enjoyed it as well.
Sure.
They're Colombian.
Yeah.
Partially.
Okay.
Dora's,
but no, if just the camera movement had shown more where her hand was coming from, I think I would have picked up on that more rather than like what the.
I was keyed in on what she was doing with her breasts. Sorry, Tapan.
Oh no, yeah, no, I thought it was a little unclear the first. Yeah, maybe next time I'll. Yeah. Well, now I know what it is. So
let's debate some bigger things. Is this like the movie of the summer? Like, what's better than this? Because like I like this better than Deadpool and Wolverine. Because I don't feel like I was lied to. Like Deadpool and Wolverine was like, "Hey, here's a big thing in the MCU that's going to explain where we're going." You're stupid for wanting that.
Wait, I still don't understand that because I still haven't seen it.
Well, like if you appreciate MCU movies and you're like, "Oh, the 34th one is going to add a new chapter to the," nope, it's just a fuck off, and it's a fuck off in like a corporate cleanup direction. That's cute
because they're tidying up all the 20th century.
Yeah, yes. Fox universe essentially.
Yeah,
and that applies to this since this is Fox stuff, and now they're going to use 20th century as like, hey, this is our after midnight label. We have Disney Plus Star Wars, but then we have 20th century for our R-rated alien space brand. On the balance sheet of, because they're going to keep FX separate as a thing on the balance sheet, I assume, for a while. I don't know why, but they can, so they will.
Yeah, it's interesting how different. I mean, at the same time, like they're both kind of doing a greatest hits thing.
Yes,
in a way.
I agree. That's why I'm comparing them.
But one was, Alien was so much more effective and
one was subtle. Like, I would want people who have, like, you could walk into Deadpool and Wolverine, never have seen a Deadpool, Wolverine, MCU movie, any of those, and you're like, oh, I get it, this is fun, this is a cool ride.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, but...
this was a fun ride, but it also hit the marks without, tipping the hat so hard.
Yeah, there are a couple, there are a couple of lines that were like, okay, that,
Oh, right? The bitch line?
Yeah,
that was,
but again, like, his delivery was so good that I think the laugh was like on his side, not laughing at they did the line. I mean, his hesitation was what kind of sold it.
Do you have a debate on, like, is there anyone who would debate me on if he should get nominated for an award?
If he should be?
Yeah, like he should get
Yeah,
nominated
yeah.
for a supporting actor award at like the Golden Globes, or I would go as far
Yeah.
as the Oscars from everything I've seen this year.
Mm.
Just
Yeah.
to like, let's be interesting and here. Okay,
Cool.
but I'll
But
actually argue against myself unless anyone wants to take me up on that one.
Well, no, I would say yeah, but I'm always like at odds with what's realistic. I don't think he will. I'm saying yeah. You think
Oh,
he
it's the
deserves
Lupita
something.
Nyong'o rule of even though she
Sure.
turns in the best performance of the year in Us,
Yeah.
she's not
Well, it's
going
more
to
of
get.
a horror thing, I think. I mean, Silence of
Yeah.
the Lambs is obviously the exception, but like,
Yeah.
they just don't like horror, I guess.
And this
Yes.
being a sequel, brand
Yeah, they're
thing.
just not gonna pay any attention to it.
Yeah, but it got good reviews.
There's even talk of now, like, I mean, again, not talk. I mean, again, he was asking
People are saying.
like,
People are saying.
like, why don't they do? Because now with Predator being effectively rebooted, and,
Yeah.
and this, it's like now we might actually see a good Alien vs Predator.
We
Well, there was
could,
a
yeah.
good video game, wasn't there?
There is a well-reviewed video game. I haven't played it, but yeah, I think those two guys, like Freddy was like, hey, if I team up with Dan, like maybe we could do like
Trachtenberg?
a Tarantino Rodriguez type of team up and do it
Like a grindhouse.
If it, like they both somehow that'd be awesome.
Here's the
That'd be-
problem: is that takes like a Ridley Scott level of epic. I think if you're gonna do it, or you have to do it in such a like small, controlled way, like how this movie was small, controlled, and contained.
Mhm.
And I do want to see an epic. Like Aliens is an epic. Its scale is something I enjoy over the limited scale of Alien and Romulus and Covenant.
Sure, but
me,
I
hit me.
don't think Aliens did it any real service by making it that big and making it have so many people in the movie.
What about a bunch of aliens and then like wars between?
Yeah, I just didn't find that interesting. That's why Aliens is a little bit lower on my rankings for the franchise. It's just, I think it tried a little too much. And the gun firing and
Okay.
Alien.
It's the 80s. You don't like the 80s-ness of it.
No, it's like
Oh.
in Alien, you have this horror, it's versus one xenomorph. But when you start introducing more aliens and they are killable, it's just not as scary.
Yeah, the fact that they can't kill him
Yeah.
is incredibly powerful. That's what Alien Isolation did. Is like you can't, and in fact, even the scene. So when there was a bifurcation in like the plot, right, where there's like the girl who's pregnant hiding from the thing,
Yep.
and effectively we know she can't kill this thing. That whole everything she was dealing with was out straight out of Isolation. Just a great under the grates, under the floor grates. Like that was a thing you replayed in that game. It was like it took a lot of these great ideas but that's so much scarier. It's like the fact that in the game you can scare it with a flamethrower, but the flamethrower doesn't kill it. You can also scare it sometimes with gunshots, but most of the time it just attracts attention to you,
Oh.
and it goes away for a while, and then it knows where you are. It knows where you like to go, and it focuses its search. There's like two AI systems, one that knows exactly where you are, and one that doesn't, and it just has a search pattern.
Oh, is that a
It
setting
evolves.
you can pick?
No, it's just
Oh,
like they
there's
just
just
developed
different
this
types of-
amazing AI that basically that I don't know if they've used it in other games, but like it learns based on your movements, and if you have the VR thing, it even knows when you make
That's
noise in the
terrifying.
Oh.
it's yeah. Anyway. But,
Okay, I'm gonna argue against you in the direction of like imagine like a Lord of the Rings style, like just thousands and thousands of aliens warring with like hundreds of predators, and they all have like the predators have their advanced tech, and then the aliens are just swarming them like bugs, and you can kill. Oh, I did want to go. Sorry. Okay, so think of that for a second. I liked when they were on the bottom of the ship and they're like, you can't kill them because then it'll bleed through and you'll kill the air pressure. So like there is a cool version of, sorry, I'm back at you, Kirk, of this movie that's like scaled way up that could be done with Disney stuff. And now that Disney knows they can make R-rated movies that make $500 million domestically by just jerking off Gen X and millennials for what they want. There are good stories in the Alien versus Predator universe.
Yeah, but the problem I see is that it's not an alien movie. It's like you make it less interesting if you have a
like-
million
it's
or
like Starship
100,000.
Troopers.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Why
Which
would
is
you
why I like
want
good
that
movie,
many-
but, yeah.
even in Predator or Prey, you only face off one predator. So
Not
why
in
would
Predator. Not in
I mean,
Predators
in
or
Predators,
Predator
you
2.
face off with more predators, but it's more interesting and it's more grounding when it's just one predator or one xenomorph.
I don't disagree with you that is a good story to
Mhm.
tell, but I would compare it to the Purge movies. Like the first Purge movie, not the first Purge, but the first movie that came out, The Purge, is an interesting story to tell that's all in one house. But you know what I enjoy more? The Purge movies that are more sprawling, that cover the whole city. I want that with Alien. I want the universe. I want like my Andor in the Alien universe. And I know that's kind of a
Well,
high.
here's where I call it the difference. That I liked Purge Anarchy, the second one, more than the Purge because
Yeah.
I felt that the original Purge was hampered by its budget and like, oh, we got to make this in one house because we're making it for $5 million fucking bucks, and half of that's going to Ethan Hawke. So, like we gotta
He's worth it.
sure. We gotta kill off Ethan Hawke in as many of our movies as we can. They're up to 3 now, but no, I like seeing them. Seeing the action that they're talking about, they're just talking about the Purge in the Purge, and you didn't see it. So Purge Anarchy, it was like, yeah, we're seeing it, and that's why I like Purge Anarchy better than the Purge. Never really saw all of the third one. Never saw the fourth one. Saw most of the fifth one, and it's like, okay, at this point, whatever.
I
But,
like the fifth one a lot.
but I saw most of it on whatever thing. But like you know, Anarchy versus the first one, yes, because it's expansive, but it's like you're talking because the first one they're talking about something that you wish you were seeing. It's just a device for them to be in a house, locked up in a house, and that's all it is.
Kirk's saying Jaws. He's saying Jaws, you don't see the shark, and it's better not to see the shark. And I'm saying now, like, there's a good one where you don't see the shark. There's a good one where you don't see the Purge. You hear about it. Because that's what they had to do for the first one, budget-wise.
Well, but it's different. You can look at Purge as a home invasion movie.
Yeah.
And the Purge is just the catalyst for why they're in the house in the first place. And that, if it's just a home invasion movie, fine. Because then it's like The Strangers. No one watches The Strangers who likes it and says, well, I want to see more of the world outside the cabin that they're in. No one gives a shit because it's just about them in the cabin. But like the Purge, like you're building this thing up and like you kind of want to see it. I think with Alien versus Aliens is that the horror of Alien is because it's so isolated and so like, you know, we don't know how to deal with this. We don't know how to kill this thing or deal with it. And I think what you're saying, Kirk, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like with Aliens, it's like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of them, but we just fucking shoot when they're gone, and they're
Yeah,
done.
easy to kill. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that they're when they're just easily.
Yeah, and so now it's more just about how many fucking, you know, we know how to kill them. We'll just kill them very easily. They're done. So what? Where's the suspense if you can just, you know, there are a bunch of them, but if you can just kill them super easily, where's the suspense?
Kirk, I would be being insincere to my childhood if I didn't admit to you that in Aliens it does bother me that the blood doesn't like burn through shit like it does in Romulus. So like on just that alone, Romulus beats Aliens.
Unless they're like, oh, hey, this adamantium, it doesn't.
Or-
it's
or
the only thing that it can't burn through, and we made the whole shit out of this thing.
different xenomorphs that aren't as potent blood-wise.
Did they seriously not have the blood be acid in Aliens?
I don't remember it.
No, it doesn't like burn through shit like it does in this movie.
So
Where
the
like
implication is that maybe
Fuck
they
that,
did
man.
build it out of something that. But then why isn't that metal like the most?
Well, I think James Cameron just didn't give a shit. Now is what I'm
Yeah.
thinking, and
But
now that movie goes down a whole star for me.
But two things that I do remember. Okay, so Alien vs Predator. The one cool scene was that flashback of the Predator. It was ridiculous, like on a pyramid, like an Egyptian pyramid, fighting a bunch of aliens.
yeah.
Cool scene, but I also don't think a whole movie could sustain. You know, if that was the whole movie, it's like that would get old. It was cool to see really quickly as a one thing. So I agree that like mowing down. I think literally, if you just take this movie and then you drop a predator into this situation, in this kind of situation in Romulus, I think that's the kind of thing that could work. Because the idea that like, so the tagline for the first one was what? Whoever wins, we lose. I think that was actually a great tagline because it doesn't really fucking matter who wins. The fact that humans are involved, we care about them, and
We're collateral damage.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're talking like, so, and the idea that Predator would be like hunting this alien, but then like as the humans prove themselves, it starts to like hunt humans too, and it's just like the idea that like the aliens trying to kill. It's a fuck triangle of like everyone's trying to kill everybody else. Humans are just trying to survive, and there's caught in the middle of these two in this war.
Well, and then what happens is the humans have to align with the, one side or the other. Like either use the aliens to kill the predators or work with the predators to kill the aliens. And in AVP, they work with the predator to kill.
They do that,
the like super alien.
So that idea is not a bad idea. It's just like, it's done kind of in a silly, way, not terribly.
AVP didn't live up to the marketing. Like that, instead of what Deadpool delivered on the scale. I wouldn't say scale, but it delivered on a lot of the things I knew that people wanted to see. But this movie delivered on things I didn't know I wanted to see.
Yeah.
That's better.
But I just like the idea, like I don't know if this has been done, but the idea that like two sets of bank robbers hitting the same place at the same time by coincidence. Like, that's just a funny, ironic idea, right? I don't know if it's been done. I've definitely heard it, and I've thought, I don't know if it's parallel thinking or what, but the idea that like humans would be on a mission to like, and that the predator is also on a mission, cross mission. The idea that like their paths cross because of that, and again, as like the humans like get better at defending themselves, the predator's like, oh, I want their skulls too. I want their spines too.
Well, and Nick will hate this, but what if the predator wants to get the black goo that you can get from? So like, so Ridley Scott's like stuff ultimately matters with his like, his space engineers who are.
I mean, that black goo could do anything. Yeah, that could be. He could drop that into any movie now. And just be like, okay, what's gonna do?
What would the predators do? Like, if you had a pregnant predator and you put the black goo in it, what would the pregnant predator come out with?
What would it do to a dinosaur? It's like, what would it do to...
Well, you saw the rat, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying, yeah. And I think, I believe in the comics, and I haven't read them, but I know, like, they've done hybrids with other creatures, and they look pretty cool. I mean, just from a visual, just like... So there's already precedent for, like, having other creatures, and some of them look pretty interesting.
Well, the Neil Blomkamp thing was going to be like humans somewhat like merging with them, kind of like the Borg in Star Trek. Or when he was going to do like what do you do? One of those sequels where you only recognize parts of the.
Oh yeah, like a Halloween thing.
Yeah, where Halloween recognizes parts of things but not others, and he was going to do it where Hicks was still alive and maybe not kill Newt.
Oh, he was going to do everything. He was going to do a sequel to Aliens.
Yeah, sequel to Aliens, but then it was gonna like also do like people morphing, like augmenting humans, basically.
Yeah.
And they do that in the Jurassic movies, and I like that, the clone thing. Now we don't like the Jurassic World.
And it turns out she's not a clone girl after all. Anyway, by the time we get to the 6th movie, she's not a clone.
She was grown inside of a...
It wasn't... Yeah, she's not like a clone.
It's like a Y the Last... Have you read Y the Last Man, Tapan?
No, I think I saw the
Kirk?
pilot, actually. But
No, I've heard of it.
Watch the pilot. You should... That's... Y the Last Man and Lock and Key are some of these ones where, like, yes, they made some TV out of it, but gosh darn, please go read the original. It's... yeah, and like some people say you shouldn't read The Boys because the TV show is better than but I think it's interesting to look at it like in the context it was made, which could be applied to the Alien movies. Like they have, because it goes back 45 years. Am I doing the math right? 45 years to 79.
Yeah.
2024 to 79. That's 45 years. Like you're covering so many different eras of movies. Like you're in the Star Wars revolution where everything becomes sequels, blockbusters, and fantasy for, placating people. And that's what Aliens is. And then Alien 3 is like this disturbed production that puts out a bleak thing where,
let's give this guy David Fincher a movie to direct. We'll see how that turns out.
I was going to talk more about like what
Yeah.
happens to Ripley and that sort of thing, and then to have like why it's called Resurrection. So it's not really a spoiler to tell you what happens at the end of this movie. Kirk kills herself, like Buffy style at the end of season 5 of Buffy. Wait, is that a reference that played for all of you?
I don't remember that episode of Buffy,
Yeah.
but
I
knew I wasn't
so
a
none of you
spoiler
knew.
for the movie.
But I've seen Alien 3, yeah.
But Joss
I saw
Whedon.
Resurrection, and they tell you that she
Well, you
died.
saw Resurrection,
Yeah.
but why'd you skip 3?
Oh, but then Joss Whedon did Resurrection.
Exactly.
3 is like the worst, isn't it?
It's if you watch it in series, it's fine. It's kind of like how you like. I'm not comparing it to Batman Returns and Batman and Robin, but like at the time it was like supposed to be the big Batman movie, and it's like what the hell is it? Now you can watch them and they're fun to watch because it's like we've seen it done really. We've seen what I don't know, and the whatever the visual effects are not of the alien are not great. Like that doesn't hold
In
up.
4 or in
3.
3?
'Cause it's like, it just feels like.
Have you seen the special edition? Okay,
think
so
so.
I was talking. There's a special edition that has like additional scenes that you see what goes on with Holt McKinley. I think I'm saying his name correctly. Like his character more, and you also see an alien come out and like run around, which I think they already skipped in here. And there's like a bunch of stuff. There's like 20 extra minutes that make the movie better. Kind of like Kingdom of Heaven is better. The Ridley Scott movie, the longer version.
Yeah, I mean I like it for what it is. But it's not. Yeah, it's obviously not anyone's vision. It's like everyone's vision was compromised on that. It was supposed to be a wooden planet of monks, and like that was the original thing. And the idea that this woman was the first woman they'd ever seen, and the idea that like it addresses the idea that like she thinks about why is this thing always attached to me. So it's sort of a meta thing of like why is this always associated with me?
Yeah.
And am I the problem? And then it had this like kind of religious stuff going on. I mean. But then it got. I mean, traces of that are in this, right? So instead of a planet of monks, it's like, okay, they're still not having sex, but they're for a very different reason, I don't know.
Tell us more about who's having sex, Tapan.
What's that?
I said, tell us more about who's having sex.
No, because it's just a
Charles
planet of
Dance.
guys, but they're not. They're all. They're all like.
Well, and this movie was pretty chaste too, because
Not the
it's
guys
like
can't have sex.
like there weren't any like lovers. I feel like this, other than maybe
Oh yeah.
Navarro and Street Fighter guy, they might have been romantic, but everything was sibling. So it was sibling stuff, and then it was like, don't tell my brother I'm pregnant. And then when he finds out at the worst possible time, and then he sacrifices himself later for that, and then look where that leads to. So it's just funny that like there's always a lot of weird sex stuff in these alien movies.
Well, people were debating whether the heel was
the father,
father,
because she says some asshole.
But they are technically cousins, I think.
Gross.
Yeah, they're cousins.
Yeah,
I
so
wouldn't
that's
have
so. But again,
pegged
I
them
don't.
to be the guy.
But they had a moment of like, but again, was it a family love or was it like, I don't know. It was ambiguous.
I'm gonna do a time check because I'm gonna introduce a terrible topic. But how far we've
we're like an hour and 7 minutes in.
Oh, okay. So we blew past an hour. I knew that was gonna happen. So alien is a metaphor for people like men to understand what rape would be like. Have you heard that theory before? Oh, that you all agree with that?
It's male. Alien was about male fear of pregnancy.
Male fear of pregnancy.
Oh, that's partly, but then of course, there's the with manifest as like through like assault and rape. Yeah, absolutely.
Because the face hugger comes in, sticks a thing down your throat, and then you get pregnant, and then it pops out of you and tries to kill you.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, there's like I think a deleted scene, like a shortened scene from the first one, where it's very obvious. I think that the xenomorph is like basically sexually assaulting the Veronica Cartwright's character.
Oh, the other lady?
Yeah, the short-haired lady. Yeah, like where it's like it's definitely like sexually assaulting her before it kills her.
Yeah, because it is weird how the xenomorph like it's unclear when it decides to like toy with the situation or just go straight for the kill. It seems to like it doesn't necessarily always go straight for the.
Like when it doesn't kill the pregnant lady and waits for them to open the door so that they can try.
Yeah. Like there's a little bit of toying going on. Yeah, a little bit of.
But then it doesn't kill her.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Kirk?
But,
Aliens,
yeah.
you really do hate it. Like Big Jim is a good
I
guy.
don't hate aliens. It's
I just didn't like it as much as I thought I was
don't
gonna
it
remember
as
liking
much.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Covenant and Prometheus, those films are terrible.
Wait, why?
I like them. I thought
No.
they were good. I thought they were good.
Okay, make an argument, Kirk, for why it's
Yeah, why it's
terrible,
terrible.
and then Tapan will make an argument for why it isn't.
I mean, okay, starting with Covenant, like David perfects the xenomorph literally off screen, right? He's able to experiment so much off screen, and then suddenly you get to the planet, and David has already made the xenomorph.
It's not perfect. It's not perfect because the protomorph. The neomorph.
Mm-hmm.
Super vulnerable, right? Like really, like fleshy placenta type of skin, right? It is. Yeah, it does ask us a lot to like go, okay, and it sucks that Elizabeth Shaw dies off screen. That's I hate that.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of there are flaws. There are huge flaws in those movies. I think there's enough.
You're trying to beat him. Talk about how they're cool. Why do you like them?
Good. But I thought, yeah, at no point did they actually say that he created the xenomorph. Because people hate that, and I'm like, they don't do that. He's messing with the same goo and other things that like to reproduce them, but that already exists. We saw the mural in Prometheus of like a full on xenomorph. Like there's a mural, so it's like they already exist. He's just sort of like he just obsessed. He's the only person on this planet. So I get that. I don't know how long he was there for, but it's like the idea that he would obsess over this is fine. The fact that he's malfunctioning, he is malfunctioning, so that's also feeds into like, you know, when one note is off, the whole orchestra falls or whatever. It's like that whole
Hannibal's
thing. So,
got to eat him.
yeah, so I get So
Are you in?
Yeah.
I like them because they did new weird shit.
I like new weird sci-fi
prequels.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, they were weird
Yep.
Yeah,
prequels.
but just
They
make
didn't.
it interesting.
I thought
Again, it's like the midichlorian things in Star Wars. You are taking away from what made Alien interesting. It was a terrifying monster that you cannot beat. One-on-one, you're not going to win. Aliens, you introduce a bunch of aliens, and you just need a gun, and you'll be fine.
but to your point, Covenant really only had one final alien, and they didn't, and they had a hard time beating it, and it was only at the end. The other ones, the fleshier ones, they were able to dispatch pretty easily. But even those were the idea that they didn't know what the fuck they were doing and just whipping their tails around and acting crazy. That was scary. Partly it was good that because it hid some of the CG, which was so maybe it was a smart move to do it that way, to have move so fast and like they're not smart yet or methodical. They're figuring things out. It was kind of interesting. I don't know, but. And then they did do like the last act was basically like a kind of a greatest hits like thing, right? Where like it's on the ship and but again, I don't know. I thought it was pretty tense. There's
in
one
defense of Ridley Scott. Sorry.
Oh
Continue.
yeah. No, but weird. Anytime you see if you see weird, big swings, like I thought take them. I would have liked to see like a direct, sequel to to finish out that trilogy with like Michael Fassbender, but he's obviously the best part of the, which people were complaining about too because it's an alien movies. Why is Michael Fassbender the best part of the alien movies? So I get that too, but I mean I don't know. That is interesting.
Well, it's like what's gonna kill us? Some like external thing like an alien, or is it our corporate greed, or will we create AI that will kill us? Because the AI always is like, hey, we need to figure out this like foreign, substance. Like, oh, the non-Newtonian substance creatures, we need to figure those out. And we need to preserve them over human life because humans, they're fucked. They're like an imperfect they're like the Neanderthal. We got to move past them to the next thing. And that's the xenomorphs. And we will serve them as AIs. It seems like that's what the AIs think. No?
No.
Hit me.
Because in RomulUS, I mean, the android, I forget his name, but
Andy.
No, not Andy. Rook, the guy who's half damaged yet. He was trying to make humans evolve by giving them the black goo, but he had to bring it back to Wayland,
Right.
the company. Yeah.
Wayland Yutani.
So their vision for the future of humanity is everyone looks like an engineer, and that's why when she injects herself with it, her baby turns into a baby engineer.
That actually, the thing is, that makes more sense than because I never really understood like the perfect organism. I don't quite understand like in terms of what qualities.
Taller, tall,
But
clearly.
it does make more sense. Yeah. But it does make more sense that like if they knew that actually it came out of just one part of this goo, that you could use to improve ourselves somehow. I don't know. But.
Wait, so could you give the goo to somebody who wasn't dying and maybe it would turn out better? Or could you give is it always going to be ugly and,
I don't feel like it was anything
grotesque.
to do that she was maybe almost dying. It just infected her baby that she had in her.
Well, yeah, but it didn't make a more perfect baby? Or
Well,
if
it
they had
depends on what you
directed...
define as perfect. Like,
Yeah.
that might be perfect defined by Michael Fassbender.
It was an improvement on the original... Like, it seemed like a more dominant species of human. Like a
1.7
bigger
feet
human is
fucking
a...
tall, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a tail and a.
Those would
Snake
kill all
tongue.
the smaller ones. And then breed to make even bigger ones.
Yeah, I mean, when they're all, if you had a bunch of them that all look like that, then I could see some breeding happening. If that's the odd one out,
I would like to see a
I mean, like,
planet
I'm
of
not
those
gonna
things.
fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I'm not gonna fuck you.
Yeah.
It's
You
like-
didn't have a dick. I looked.
Yeah, that.
Didn't have a dick.
oh yeah, it has
Okay.
like a
Like
three.
an X.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
a 3-pronged X.
Well,
in
that's
its vaginal area.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
'cause
nice.
I was
Well,
like-
also it kept evolving like in real time. Like it kept changing,
Yeah.
which was interesting. Oh, one thing I think you guys would like too. I just saw this interview where what Betty did was he made like the cocoon and stuff. The idea that it would blend in with the ship such that you couldn't tell where the ship ended and the cocoon and stuff began. And the idea is that it's actually entwined and it's absorbing the energy of the ship, and that's why that explains the biomechanical nature of the xenomorphs.
Oh yeah.
And that is completely consistent with everything we've seen in the first Alien. Even somebody pointed out that there's a scene where there's like something chewed through the wiring or something,
Yep.
which didn't make sense or whatever. And it's like, so things are either not inconsistent or directly consistent with the idea that like there's so many different versions of this thing. This one just looks biomechanical because it's always been on a fucking ship. It's
Yeah.
right. It's always been on ships. It's always
Yeah.
been, it's like I thought that's such a cool thing, that detail that he picked up on, and then did it kind of like overtly here. But
I don't have a counter to is it biomechanical?
well, the point is that we don't know what the mystery is like. We don't know what this goo is capable of and what it could, the final form, what they're trying to get towards. What is the optimal form for a creature? I don't know. We still don't.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Are they gonna have to deal with the goo on the Noah Hawley show? I wonder next year.
Oh god.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
In the Fede Alvarez oeuvre, is this his best movie? Evil
I
Dead,
liked
Don't Breathe.
I liked, yeah.
Yeah, I've liked all of his movies. I feel like I would rate this higher than Don't Breathe for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Not as
Evil-
rapey, thank God.
Huh?
Not as rapey, thank God. Well,
Oh,
I
this
guess,
isn't as that because the whole turkey baster thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2030. I still like that. It's a really tough call, but the fact that it's a tough call means he did something right. I think
He's got a original in there. He's got Don't Breathe, and then like his exercise outside of that has been like, well, I guess I'll remake, my heroes' like Sam Raimi's franchise, Ridley Scott's franchise, and that's pretty good. That's better than
Interesting.
like
He did
Jay.
Girl with the Dragon, or Girl with the Spider's Web. Girl in the Spider's Web.
Wait, what?
He did that apparently. I didn't realize.
Oh, that's right.
Another.
Oh,
Followed
I was
Fincher.
thinking, like, is this really only his third movie? It didn't seem
I
right.
haven't seen that one. Who plays? Because Nui Replace is in the first one.
Right. Yeah.
Or she's in
in
the
the
Swedish one.
original version. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like a
Claire Foy.
non-sequel to David Fincher's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. He does a non-sequel to a David Fincher
Right.
movie. He just did another non.
Yep.
You're in the same ballpark, same sandbox as David Fincher, but not really.
Is Fede better than David?
Well, no, I don't think
Why
so.
not?
Well, I don't. I haven't seen. I need to see more movies of him.
Of
his-
Fede or David?
As Fede gets more
Fede.
movies, yeah. Well, it'll be easier to compare with, I think, with a more, with filmography.
You would want the younger guy to come along and be better. my argument would be that you would want Fede, who I assume is in his 40s or 50s, to be better than Fincher, who's in his 60s, because he's got more access to technology. He's been able to learn from, the people who came before him. I'm not arguing that he is. Although, did you see Don't Breathe 2, Tapan?
I haven't.
Have you seen Don't Breathe 2, Kirk?
I haven't seen the first one.
I watched it with Nick. We should watch the first
Oh yeah,
one, Kirk.
we and Lloyd watched it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and then The Killer with Fassbender. It's all.
Oh, The Killer
related.
with... Wait.
No, that was David Fincher, The Killer, Fassbender.
Oh, yeah. His new movie.
But I guess that doesn't actually tie in with this at all. But
It kind of does, because that's Fincher and has Fassbender, and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
relates to,
2 degrees of separation.
I
But
didn't love that movie. Like,
I didn't love it either. Yeah.
I liked but didn't love it.
Yeah.
It was a satisfying experience.
In his own terms, because Fincher is one who talks about there's movies and there's films, and he in his own terms he says the game is a movie, and then what he described one of his as a film. So even he describes and he deliberately said The Killer was a movie.
Yeah, so there are movies that are movies, and there are films that are art.
Yeah, that are just that higher level of and he's done, and he goes, and I think he maybe deliberately goes back and forth. Or
Well, let's argue this then. Is Alien is clearly art. It is also, pop culture fuel.
yes, I think Alien is a film and Aliens is a movie.
But
Yeah.
is Romulus a movie and a film, or is it just a movie?
It's a hybrid like the.
So
No,
it
I don't
could
know.
be considered a film, because that's why to go back to, the best performance is Andy, and just like Fassbender is giving a fantastic performance in Alien Covenant and Prometheus, not recognized. Are those think they're films? They might be movies. That's part of the problem with those movies. That's the Ridley Scott problem. Is he would never say any film of his is a movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He takes a shit and it's a film.
Yeah.
You guys didn't. It said like somebody didn't watch The Last Duel.
I did not see the last duel.
I liked Last Duel. I thought it was better than Napoleon.
Well, yeah.
We're just old timey.
I saw both
It
of
is
those
old-timey.
movies, and I would say The Last Duel is better than Napoleon, but Napoleon is a movie. The Last Duel is a film.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Based on
Yeah.
the conversation we've been having, and I know these guys haven't seen it. Should we hit all the topics I had on the list? We could talk about why can't they make a good Terminator sequel, but they can make a good Alien sequel.
Well, so the conversation, what Freddy did amazingly is that he's proved to people that he could take any franchise and do just a really good combination of the best kind of fan service mixed with new creative stuff. I think, and so it's he's poised to do anything. Yeah, he could do a Terminator movie, and I think people would be like, yeah, he could do that.
I'd rather have him do an original. I liked this movie, but then it made me sad because it's we don't have anything as original as a xenomorph coming from the new movies this year. Is there anything that's as revolutionary as a xenomorph that's in the movies this year? There's some interesting killers maybe in Long Legs or Maxine, but there's not a sci-fi property that's as amazing as that. And then we have The Omen. The Omen, this movie is like the first Omen because it's another, what do you call it? Well, this is a prequel. Midquel.
First Omen was a straight up prequel. There's nothing before First Omen that you would, the way there is in Alien Romulus. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
Well, in what way do you see the first Omen to be like Romulus if it's not one's a midquel,
Well, only
one's
in
a
the sense
prequel?
that it is a prequel, but there's nothing before. Alien
It's another
Romulus
entry
is,
to an old series is what I was trying to
Yeah,
get
that's
at.
the
Sorry.
similarity you can. Yeah, it's an old. Yeah, it's a new entry to an old series. But I mean, what else? Same
Just-
studio.
Fox? Oh, yeah, that's right.
It is 20th century films. Yeah,
Damn it.
but
So
other than-
First Omen's on Disney Plus, and Romulus is going to be on Disney Plus.
I expect it to be? Yeah.
Weird. It's different in other countries. We all know that. Okay, any final thoughts we should try to get in? Kirk?
Yeah, it's like, well, I'll just go back to RomulUS and how they kind of botched the ending because
What?
I didn't really like the alien xenomorph engineer baby that showed up
Okay, you,
That's
out
fair.
of nowhere. Yeah,
That's
like
fair.
if they didn't have that, it would have been a great movie with this monster that shows up out of nowhere for whatever reason. I didn't like it that much, but I still think it's a good movie.
damn.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
You-
fair. Whenever something really polarizing like that happens, I get kind of giddy because I'm like, oh, some people are gonna like this. Like, yeah, because it is a bold, fucking thing to have that, to end like that. But I think it was effective. It was effective. There were some times because you're just like, it's so unnatural looking. You're just like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
it's so ridiculous. But it's like, oh shit, it's working. I don't know.
I have to wonder though, like, what do people who are going in blind think of that? Like,
Taylor's dad left because of that.
what?
He said his dad
Wow.
left because it was this was his first alien movie, I think. But and he said that that was too much. And I was like, I don't blame him. That thing was gnarly looking.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't know like the background of it, and it just scared him out, basically.
I guess
That's cool.
That's fair. Yeah, exactly. That's like
I feel like I recognize like, oh, this looks like an engineer. Even having not seen all of Prometheus before.
A sin. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah.
Say 2 Hail Ridleys.
Prometheus is improved by the deleted scenes as well.
Oh, it is it?
Because they have some dialogue with the engineers, so it's clear what the point is and the plan is. Speaking of, the whole point is they're pissed off at Jesus. I think is the
I do not
not
know.
the deleted scene. The implication is they say 2,000 years ago. The idea was that that's what it was. They said Jesus. I think the implication was that Jesus was one of them. Yeah, and then we like killed him, and then as retaliation they were gonna kill all of us.
It's basically Eternals. The
Mm.
problem with fucking, and like that makes sense to Kirk. It doesn't make sense to Nick.
But that's
I
they do the
think
timeline.
it's
They're like,
kinda
this,
like
is,
that.
like this has been here for 2,000 years, and so then they're doing like, we must have done something to piss them off. And that's
Yeah.
what it was. They
Oh,
killed
goddamn.
Jesus.
Literally. I mean, because I mean it that way. So Nick, are you yay or
Oh
nay?
yeah.
Yay or nay on?
Like, how many slashes out of 10 would you give this movie as an alien slashing the wall in
Yeah.
orgasmic joy for killing?
For a while, I was at the time of watching it, I'm like, oh, this is an 8, maybe 7.5. Only when it got to the engineer stuff at the end, I'm like, yeah, this is a 7.
Damn. Okay. Well, weird. This is not a review show. This is a bait show. Tapan, tell each of these guys why they're wrong and something personal. Make it on hominem attack.
No, I give it a solid 8 face hugs out of 10, I guess. There are flaws for sure, but I think they mostly got it.
I don't think I can accept that you guys don't think we will be a multi-planetary species someday. I think that's important to the survival of the concept.
Oh, I think
of
we will.
humanity.
I was on.
Okay, cool. You're
that
on
side of the
team. You're on team multiplanetary, but like
There'll
we
be
might
some
have
people.
some ugly, like Wayland Yutani like camps.
Well, yeah, it won't be nice. Like there's a very like in-depth article I read a year or so ago where like none of these billionaires would want to live in the environment of like what it would be like living on another planet.
Where did you read
That's
this
a good
article?
point. That's a good point.
It's a year old. I don't remember.
Right, they would never live as well. Yeah.
Yeah, like they can't, like they don't realize they're doing this. It's theatrics. Like I'm gonna send a dick-shaped rocket up for 90 minutes. I'm gonna have the washed-up star of an old 1960s show about space travel on board.
And honestly, after the submarine thing, I think that there's probably a huge chill factor of like,
yeah,
this is something we should have already figured out.
Yeah.
And that was basically, was that a vanity mission? I'm not really sure what that was.
Oh, well, it wasn't
pretty
for
much-
science that they were doing it.
Yeah.
They were doing it
So it's
as
like, if that happened there, that's
Yeah.
the same thing that would happen up there, but this is something we should have figured out in underwater. So yeah, you're right. I think, and wasn't that a billionaire or a millionaire or something? Yeah. Anyway,
It was like James Cameron went down there like
he did
30 years ago. Like you don't need to go down there. You're
Yeah.
like you have no reason.
But it's
to
like
do it.
space,
He's
like some new
developed
planet.
technology.
Forget about it.
No, Big Jim has done impressive things as it comes to.
That's
Yeah,
true.
but-
He has advanced. That's
Yeah, but not
How dare
not
you.
the douchebag. No, I'm not saying anything against James Cameron. I'm saying about the douchebag who the Ocean Gate or whatever
Oh, sure.
with the really douchey name. I already forgot it a year. It's only been
When
a year.
when they went down with a bunch of people and they're like
five people. Yeah, and they decompressed and
Deaths.
Yeah,
they
that's-
instantly turned into
Titanic.
like dust.
That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like after that, it's like, oh, wait, that we were supposed to have figured that out already. Like
Yeah.
so now rich people are probably like second guessing, not just that, but also going up and
How many Illuminati submarine parties do you think got canceled after that?
yeah,
All of them,
a lot. Yeah, all of them.
probably.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah.
All of them.
Because why would you take a chance? Yeah.
Well, they hadn't checked in at the right, whatever parties for submarine not dying.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't understand that. I also don't really understand like hot air balloons. Like I'm like they look cool for like on a postcard, but I don't.
There's no
Like,
fucking way I would.
Why
ever
would I?
want one.
Why, yeah, there's no need to.
I like
do
the
that.
idea of floating fortresses though, where you have like what they have in
Like Bioshock.
Black Widow
Oh.
and in Fate of the Furious, where Charlize Theron of Prometheus is in a flying because she's an international criminal, she's always flying around in a ship, and they
That's
have
right.
the same thing in Black Widow, and it seems like Alien universe, Weyland Yutani or Mr. Yutani probably has a floating vessel somewhere out, in the ocean of the Pacific, and no one can tell him what to do because he's got his own laws, and
Yeah, we've met Wayland. We haven't met Yutani, have we?
we have not.
Yeah,
'Cause
that's
Isn't,
I wonder what
isn't
that's
that a Big Jim edition though? Is the Yutani because it shows
idea.
that the company merged?
I was thinking it'd be cool to see how did they? What was their? Kind of like. Did you ever see the? Oh my gosh, whatever. I'm not gonna remember. The Rob McElhenney show. With about video games.
Yes, I have seen
Oh,
the Rob
Mystic Quest?
McElhenney
Mythic Quest, and then there's a random they have one episode of the
episodes
season that's a
5
random
or
episode.
7 where it's about how they started the company, and it's
Yes.
got the mother from How I Met Your Mother.
Exactly. I'm thinking. I was
And-
like, then I was thinking, it'd just be. It'd be cool to see a Wayland Yutani. Yeah.
That
But
shows
then
you
I'm
that
like-
Mythic Quest is such a good show because they have one of those episodes every season,
Yeah.
but then they also have the bullshit of their Silicon Valley. Because I miss
Yeah.
Silicon Valley, so that kind of fills my Silicon Valley hole with instead of
Yeah.
my King of the Hill feeler being tickled, it's
It's
always
coming
sunny.
back.
What?
King of the Hill is coming back.
I know King of the Hill is coming back, just like It's Always Sunny is going to come back forever, and everything's going to just repeat, and we're never going to get anything original and new, and that's why we're going to have to do shoulder media like this.
or OnlyFans.
Okay, yeah, Nick's going to do OnlyFans for fisting. It's from an earlier conversation. Sorry, Japan, to get you got up this way. Ending thoughts?
Well, we gave him. What were your ending thoughts about Romulus?
I'm glad I saw it twice. Kirk was next to me when I had a panic attack during
Yeah.
the movie the first time.
Dang.
Yeah.
During which scene or which sequence?
It was the shaking chairs. What we should
It
have
wasn't.
baited.
It wasn't the.
Oh,
six,
you saw, like,
60
40X
We
or
months.
something?
No, we saw it in Dolby,
Yeah,
and
it's
the
Dolby.
chairs shook.
And actually, to be sprayed by water when there's acid.
Oh
Blood?
god, that
That
would
would be a
freak
gr-
you out.
Yeah, that'd be
Well,
fun.
it'd
Yeah.
be like the SpongeBob.
Wait. Oh, they did that.
They,
Oh,
they
'cause
have
it's all
40
water.
Yeah.
It's all water. Yeah, the whole thing
They
is water.
do.
yeah.
They should do that. No, but the Dolby's the Dolby screening.
I gotta do that next. Then.
You do it next,
Yeah.
and the IMAX
yeah.
is more picture, and great sound, as good as Dolby sound from what I can tell. But Dolby seats in the Dolby theaters shake,
Basically Rumble. Yeah. that's
and
cool.
that makes an entire difference. And it's like coming out of a video game movie like Borderlands, where I only saw it because I could see it in the Dolby seats, and that movie still can yikes.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping I was like, oh, maybe I could hate watch it or it's so bad. But I heard your take.
It's not bad enough to hate it. It's
Yeah.
just a mid movie. Yeah.
Well, and it's not dirty enough because they're in the wasteland or whatever, and there's no dirt over anything. Whereas this is a very dirty movie. There's fucking dirt and fucking dust and saliva and weird sticky shit, and I like that.
Yeah.
Whereas there's no tactile anything in Borderlands. And
that sucks even so much more for them. There's like the direct comparison the same weekend of like that's how you do whatever you're
a
going
video
for.
game movie because
Yeah,
Alien is a video game franchise,
Yeah.
but gee whiz, yeah. So the next episode is us debating some people who like Borderlands.
Yeah,
No,
I understand
what I
too.
heard really quick, interestingly that like Eli Roth did it. Actually, it was actually made or he signed on to it before Thanksgiving and then left and then Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's how long ago Borderlands, like the movie started.
Oh yeah, it was
problems with it or
mostly
whatever.
shot in
Yeah.
2021, and then Tim Miller shot some last year.
And clearly, like his experience was like, oh well, fuck this. I'm gonna go back to my own basics. Do Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was good.
They wanted to
It's
do
a good slasher. It's just a good
I
dumb.
enjoyed it.
B
yeah,
movie.
it's,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's dumb, but it's like, and I fucking like I.
It's not as good as Alien.
It's sub Scream. I mean, in that, yeah. Like there's like mostly bad. I don't know. Mostly good horror.
let me
stuff.
piss Nick off. I value franchises like Alien over Scream because like there's more and it's a bigger world, whereas Scream is reliant on somewhat being a satire of the genre of slasher.
I don't think it's. I don't judge it by bigger or smaller or I just still don't think Scream's satire. It's
Really?
Not satire. No.
Hmm.
I mean, especially not now. They don't take things and like do it bigger than they don't exaggerate it. the
Oh,
way
you're
that
right. It's not.
It's not satire.
Only the
First
first
one-
one.
the
It's
first
was.
one.
self-referential. It's not satire.
That's not
Right. No, you're right. You're right. The first one was satire. Now it's mostly played straight.
Yeah,
There's a
unless
little
they're
bit of like,
purposely doing bad
we're the
sequels.
sixth in the movie,
And a little bit of meta. They sprinkle that. They have one
Yeah.
meta character who kind of. But you're right. That doesn't make it. It doesn't make it satire.
It's a fragile tone you have to hit with Scream, whereas there is a couple of tones that you could hit with Alien. Everything from self-important bullshit of Ridley Scott's Prometheus to the more nitty-gritty of a 3 or a 1, and then the expansive nature of Aliens. I've been trying to wrap this podcast.
But yeah,
for a
but Kirk,
while.
I agree. I don't think you can expand it to be like hundreds of aliens fighting.
Yeah,
I don't
too
even
much.
care to see it. Like
That will
cheapens, it
happen.
cheapens the alien, the
Yeah.
xenomorphs.
You should. There's books that do this though. There's books in video games that do that. That's why the movie was they're going to be able to do that. In
I can
some
handle
way.
a few, like a colony, one or whatever, one nest, and there's like that might make sense. I think, like I don't know, but having like a whole shit ton.
Did you like Predators better than Predator Shane Black's version?
I think so.
You mean The Predator?
The Predator versus
The
Predator.
Adrian
Nick likes,
Brody.
yeah, the Adrian
I
Brody
think I like that one. Yeah.
over the 2018 one, like the 2010 Predators or the
Is that the one that
2018
ends
The
with
Predator.
the main character getting a barrel suit at the end of the movie? The Predator? Which one was that?
Is that
That might be an AVP. That might be one of the AVPs.
No, doesn't one of the characters end up with a weapon suit or something that the Predator is trying to...
I think that's 2018.
I think that is The Predator. I forget what character it is, but like
Oh, they wear parts of the gauntlet.
No, he
maybe.
gets an actual suit, yeah, because
The whole
he
suit?
puts it on
The
and then
gauntlet,
the suit
yeah.
goes over him.
I think
yeah.
that was The
Oh, and
Predator. Yeah.
Helmet. Yeah.
I liked Predators when I saw it. I rented it from Redbox back in the day. I kind of like The Predator more. I don't know.
It's wrong.
It's kind of like doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah, I liked what Shane tried to do with it. Yeah, but
Oh yeah, your good friend Shane. Sorry,
Good
that's
friend.
why I brought this up.
No, I've only met him a couple of times. But I
Only
did
a
have-
couple of
I did have
times.
Indian food at his house. So,
Oh, wow.
he's the first famous person I met in LA. Yeah.
Nice.
He was working on, I don't know what he's working on. He had a bunch of Green Lantern comics, interestingly enough. But I don't know if he actually liked it. He just
Maybe he was script doctoring that one.
could be. No, that was post Ryan. Yeah, that was post.
Oh,
Ryan
okay.
Reynolds. Yeah, that could use a reboot, I guess.
And the only thing since then has been Zack Snyder's Green Lantern in Justice
Oh
League
no, I think they are rebooting it as like a cop show.
on HBO. Yeah,
Yeah,
Or
that could be
it-
cool. Yeah,
Max or no, they're moving things from
Like a buddy
Max
cop
back to
show.
HBO. Yes,
that's a cool idea.
with
yeah.
what is it? Okay,
Jon
we're on it.
Stewart and I don't know
Hal Jordan. Yes,
Probably, yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's
Anyway.
let's do the Alien
That's-
podcast. Kirk, you're gonna say something clever at the end.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tease next week's episode as we hear about people's take on Borderland.
Yeah.
So catch us on the next bait. See you then.